Hey guys, and welcome to Performance Cars. So today I have a Nissan Silvia S15 and I'm pretty excited about this one because this is being added to our very own car collection. So here we have the Nissan Silvia S15. This doesn't have the aero package, which is available on all S15s, but it does have a few modifications done to it. So quite a few people do mistake this car for an Integra Type R. I can see why, because the headlights are slightly similar, as well as the body style being a two-door coupe. But from the front we also have the fog lights standard on this car. And on the alloy wheel side, these are Bridgestone BEO alloys with Bridgestone S001 tyres, 225 45 17s all round. Calipers themselves are 4-pot, exactly the same as the ones found on the 300ZX, but the brake booster on this model is slightly bigger. Electric folding mirrors, and this is of course the Spec R, which I will try to tell you about in a second when we get to the engine bay. And on the boot we have a small spoiler, and the rear lights have a sort of white border to them. Exhaust itself is a Nismo, as you can see just down there. But yeah, this is a 2001 model, and we'll just take a look at the engine bay. So there are two variants to the S15. There's a Spec S and a Spec R, and as you guys saw earlier, this has the Spec R badge on the side. So this is running a SR20 DET engine, which you can just see there, and this means that this is a turbo 4-cylinder engine. So there you have the intercooler, turbo wording, twin cam 16 valve, and this is front engine rear wheel drive, which means that a lot of the drift cars that you have been seeing tend to be a Nissan Silvia. This is running about 250 brake horsepower. The Spec S is about 160, and this also has a Nismo front strut brace. So you can see the badge just there. But apart from that, and the back box, this is completely standard. So you guys may have noticed these weird looking things on the back of the car. Well, this is the antenna for the TV. They do flip up and extend out as well. So that's pretty neat. It does look weird, I have to agree. And if we move to the door card, it is fairly simple. So your normal switches on the side. But we do have something interesting here. It says static electricity. Now some of you guys may notice when you exit the car and you touch the body, you get a slight electric shock. Now this is designed to prevent that. I'm not too sure if you're supposed to rub it when you get out of the car or something like that, but it does seem to work. Now here's the interior. It is fairly basic. We do have a set of Nismo pedals. That's quite nice. And the Silvia branding along the door sill. And on the steering wheel you also have that S to denote the Silvia, which is also found on top of the gear knob. If I could just focus in on that. And the dials themselves, they are finished in silver. This is still running in kilometers per hour. Red lines at 7,200 RPM. And on this pillar here we also have a standard boost gauge. That's pretty neat. And the seats themselves, yeah, they're nothing too special. Center console, you have that TV that I mentioned, and all your mini disc player, hard drive, fan controls. This has aircon as well, and the 6-speed manual gearbox. You also have 2 drinks holders and the armrest, and on the passenger you also get the Silvia branding as well. So if I flip the front seats up, we have the rear seats. There's only two back here, and there's not a lot of space. That is my usual seating position, and it can get quite cramped. Rear storage for the rear passengers. It's pretty deep in there. That's quite nice. But we'll go take a look at the trunk. So moving on to the trunk area, we have the usual spare wheel and toolkit underneath the carpet. Additional chassis bracing. And a rear shelf, which houses the TV tuner. And you do get quite a bit of space. So it isn't too bad, but we'll go for the test drive. So 250 brake horsepower, 220 foot-pounds of torque. Let's give this a go. First gear. Got a bit of wheel spin there. Turbo's kicking in around 3,500 RPM, and it pulls all the way to 7,200. So this engine produces decent power for what it is anyways. Give it another go. See that dial on my right hand side boosting all the way to 0.7 of a bar, and it's always good to look at that. Well, I wouldn't say it's good, but it is distracting. The handling, wow. Whenever people say they have a Nissan Silvia or a S15, S14, S13, something like that, the first thing people say to them is drift. And at the moment this car is handling really well. No dramas whatsoever. It's really well balanced. Couple of corners coming up. Minimal understeer. Quite surprised by this. Brakes themselves. Okay, it's the standard 4-part calipers at the front and normal sliders at the back. But I think the brake pads are to blame for this. It doesn't stop as well as I would expect it to. But I'm going to give it a stamp on the pedal anyways, just to see how it goes. So 50 miles per hour, hard on the brakes. We had a bit of tyre squeal there, but it does stop well. I think the brake pads are low, that's the reason why it doesn't feel that great. So the transmission itself is standard, the clutch pedal is really light, and the gear shifter, yeah, it goes into gear nicely, but the throw is a bit long. So on this model of the S15 with the SR20 DET, we have a helical limited slip differential as standard compared to the older models which had a viscous LSD. Having that huge Nismo exhaust at the back, and it passes the car throttle's fizz test, it isn't loud at all, as you can tell. I mean, on the motorway we didn't get anything at all, we just heard tyre noise, and even driving now I hear more of the engine than anything. So I'm not too sure if that's more of a cosmetic thing, but being a Nismo part, I do expect it to be slightly louder. So if I just put my foot down, we'll see if we can hear that exhaust noise. It's more of the engine noise. Now the interior of the car, these sport seats, they're okay. They're not the most comfortable in the world. It does hold you in slightly with those bolsters, but these definitely need an upgrade. I mean, on the journey back from where I purchased the car, I did start to feel a bit uncomfortable after a while. So I swapped to go into the DC2, and that one felt much better, even though the suspension was super hard. So this car was imported not too long ago, and the car itself, it's really clean. It is standard, it doesn't have the aero package that I wanted, but once I saw the car, I just knew I had to buy it. So this Nissan Silvia S15 doesn't have any electronic controls, so no traction control, no electronic brake distribution, nothing like that. We only have ABS and, well, aircon. The suspension itself is quite firm. I did expect it to be softer, but it is very close to being on springs. But I've had a look underneath and it definitely is standard, and it goes really well. I do hope that one day I'll maybe put on a kit on this or something, maybe a spoiler. I'll definitely change the rims though, because I'm not liking the look of these ones. And suspension, the brakes, those will definitely be changed too. So you guys will have most probably seen the boost gauge going up and down as I'm driving down this road. But here's the rev meter, so I'm just going to drop into 4th and 3rd. Put my foot down for you guys. We've got the turbo kicking in. Round this long right hander. And hard on the brakes again for this next left hander. Down 1 gear. This car is really, really fun. So the Nissan Silvia S15 weighs in at 1,224 kilograms. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of my Silvia S15. Stay tuned and hopefully I will start modifying this car. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Stay safe, drive safely, and I'll see you guys soon. What's up guys, and welcome to Performance Cars. And that's the RWB Porsche.